and welcome to Carla's channel for another chat video. We are chatting in the same place today.
Yes, yeah, we are together.
It's hot with the windows.
It's very hot with the windows open.
We just shut the car windows.
We are sitting at Burnham Seafront because we met up
all
for
exotic
lunch.
locations.
Oh yes,
you know,
it's all the glam here.
Yeah,
and
all the glam
we closed
travel.
the windows because we thought, oh, you know, it'd be too noisy. But with the windows closed, we'll expire.
I think we will. Yes.
So yeah.
So we'll have to have a bit of ambient noise. Apologies. So today we are. What are we chatting about, Carla?
So the subject matter for today, which I put on one of my YouTube post things in the YouTube posting bit.
Community tab.
Community tab, that's it. Is, are we still supposed to be learning? Are we genuinely interested in personal growth? Or are we just being guilted into constant self-improvement?
No.
No, I'm not being guilty. I don't feel like I improve at all ever, to be honest. But I do sometimes feel...
Not even like a good wine improves with age.
More like a cheese.
That's smelly.
A poorly stored cheese is how I'm aging. I do sometimes feel the guilt that people talk about when everybody else seems to be doing a thing. You know, when you talk to people at work and they're, oh yes, well I go to a dance class on a Tuesday, and then Natalie picks up a phone, I must do my Duolingo, and I'm like, I don't do any of that, should I? Well, is it guilt? I feel it was curiosity, because I'm like, I don't do anything, I'm not improving myself in any way. But then I also feel like I'm damn busy. Is self-improvement only available to people who have the time and energy?
You didn't finish reading out the question because I interrupted
No,
you.
I read the title and then the rest of them are kind of questions that went with it. So the rest of the questions were,
okay.
It was kind of a, do you feel pressure to keep learning new things, or is it something you enjoy? Have you ever signed up for a class, course or club and thought, why am I doing this? Is it okay to just be done? Do you think all this talk of lifelong learning is inspiring or exhausting? Does it energise you or make you want to crawl under a blanket?
I can't imagine what option we'll choose for that.
Have you ever learned something new after 50 that genuinely changed your life or perspective? What skills or knowledge do you wish you'd learned earlier, or do you feel it's too late now? Do you feel, it was very long, do you think women are under more pressure than men to stay relevant through learning and personal development? For example, why does no one ask retired men to learn Mandarin or start a podcast? Is boredom underrated? What if we just allowed ourselves to be still instead of always striving? If you could take a class in anything with zero expectation of productivity, what would it be? So, yes, I popped that on my YouTube community post, and I did get some responses, which I've now lost again because I went away from it.
I'm just going to pick up one of the questions you asked towards the end there, which is boredom underrated? And I think absolutely boredom is underrated. Not boredom so much as doing nothing. I think that, unfortunately, and we've talked about this a little bit today, the advent of this bloody thing and these bloody things and other screens has made us all constantly picking up and looking at screens. For example,
we are over screen stimulated.
We are over screen stimulated for sure. I do some of my best thinking and coming up with ideas and stuff when I'm literally sitting, letting my mind wander. But how much of that do I do, sitting and letting my mind wander? Hardly any at all, because I constantly, if I'm sitting having lunch with someone in a restaurant and they go, oh, I'm just going to pop to the loo, I immediately pick up my phone. I wouldn't dream of just sitting there and watching the world go by. Perhaps a little bit more when I'm on holiday and I'm more relaxed anyway. But generally speaking, if there's any moment of downtime, I pick up my phone.
Yeah, absolutely. Natalie gets out of the car to go somewhere, and I reach for my phone to pass the time while she's not there. And I annoy myself with it. I annoy myself. I was saying it over lunch, how annoyed I am by my overuse of my phone. But I don't quite know how to break myself of it.
It's not an easy one at all, is it? And it increases every year as well. You do more stuff on your phone, for example. You pay for the car park on your phone. You check your bank account on your phone. We were saying as well,
triage yourself on your phone for your doctor.
Yeah. Yes. This is not the time or the place for that conversation. But you do everything on your phone. I pick up my phone to do something, and it's got a notification on it, so I deal with that, and I forget to do the thing I've done, but then another notification, and you go through. It's just never-ending cycle, isn't it? You don't do the thing, so you pick the phone up again, and then there's another notification. and it's constant. And I don't know how to.
I have turned off the notifications for a lot of websites for that reason, because the notification was pulling me back into the phone, and when I was in the phone I was then going to 20 other places, and I was thinking, I wasn't even on my phone, why am I doing this? I was doing something else. So yeah, notifications I think are a downside. I don't think they're a plus.
Absolutely. Yeah, completely agree.
But I do use my phone for self-education. So for example, I know a lot of random stuff, and I know it because as soon as I want to know anything, I pull my phone out and look it up. One of the things I love about my phone is the fact that I have the A to Z concise encyclopedia of the world in my pocket. Anything I want to know, I can know in seconds. Who's that actor? That's so and so. What was he in before? He was in so and so. Why do seagulls do this? What kind of bird is that has that marking under its wing? What flower is this that I'm admiring in the shop? All of these things, all of the information is there at my fingertips, and I can have it in a second, and I love that. So I do use my phone for learning from that point of view.
Yes.
My general education. But I don't apply myself to any specific course of education in any aspect. And
That
I tell
was very
myself
neatly
I will.
done. I segued completely away from the
And I
subject.
pulled you back.
Almost immediately we started the video, as is my wont. And you then brought us back.
Yeah, I don't apply myself to any particular course of education, and I wonder if I ought to. And I want to in some way. So, for example, Caroline and I were talking about affiliate marketing, and I keep saying I need to do that, but there's still things I need to learn about it, and I cannot apply myself to learn those things because it's a whole new area that I have no head start in. And I need to learn it, and I fight against learning
Since
things.
since COVID, really, I would say, which was pretty much almost 50 as well, I have just not got the bandwidth, as we like to say, for learning new stuff. Just doing what I need to do on a day-to-day basis, I feel uses up all of my bandwidth. And I feel like perhaps one day when I retire, if and when I retire, there might be free time. And it's not that I don't want to learn stuff, it's just that I don't have the time, the bandwidth, and the get up and go enough, the motivation.
I have no desire to learn something I won't use, to learn something that doesn't have a use for me.
Well, for the sake of learning,
yes.
so that goes back to one of the other
some people have a
questions,
huge
doesn't it?
desire just to learn.
To
They
learn
have a
for
huge
learning's
thirst for
sake,
learning.
yeah.
And I could say, well, I could go and learn Italian, but I'm never going to go to it. I'm never going to go need it. I'm not going to go live in Italy. The only time that I would need to be fluent in Italian is if I was going to spend a lot of time with Italian people. I can't see that being useful for me. I'm not going to need it on the occasional holiday that I go on, and so therefore I have no interest in doing that. I only have interest in learning things that I'm going to apply.
Yes. Yeah.
Whereas a lot of people just learn for the joy of it, don't they?
I think, I wouldn't want to go and learn a language. No, I couldn't see any upside in that. Did that at university, and haven't really ever needed to use very much of it at all throughout my life. And certainly nothing like maths or something. That was bloody useless, wasn't it? Never needed to know what a cosine is or a tangent.
No. I love to educate my stuff on the little bits of things that I don't know.
Yes, I think like going to a museum and reading about the things in the museum and stuff like that, I'm interested in.
But I've never wanted
terms
to
of
excel in
learning.
a subject. I've never wanted
No.
I've never wanted to be an expert in blah blah blah, It's not-
No, I wouldn't. If someone said to me, would you like to go and do a GCSE and, well, anything at all, whether
And I
it's
think
Spanish, chemistry, geology, no.
I think that relates to my reselling as well, because again, I am a generalist. I sell anything and everything because I don't care enough about anything to study it closely enough to be an expert.
Yeah. Like Lex sells jewellery. She loves jewellery.
Yes,
She's got a real passion for
she'll
it,
buy
hasn't
books
she?
about jewellery
Yes,
designers.
and
She
learn
learns
more and more.
things,
Yes.
Yeah, and I
she's
just it's just not me. I think I've got a generalist brain, not just generalist in reselling. I think I excel at pub quizzes and in the general knowledge round and the random bits of information and the.
Could you come down on Monday night and be my quiz
Yeah,
tip?
absolutely. Why not? I excel in the things that people say, how on earth did you know that? And you go, I don't know, I just do. I've learnt it. At some point I picked it up, I've gone and looked it up, I've read it. I read a lot, and you learn a lot through reading. Yeah, it's interesting that I don't think I go out with the intention of learning things, but I am interested in finding things out when I don't know them.
Yeah.
And I watch a lot on YouTube of how things are done and how things are made videos. I find those enthralling. I will sit there and watch people in countries thousands of miles away turning black bags into new copper wire. I don't think that's possible. Into casing, or all sorts of stuff like that.
Similar but different. I'm fascinated by cake making videos. People with speeded up making a cake videos. Do I have any desire to become a baker? Absolutely
and
not.
Yet,
but
you get to the point where you feel like you could. You get to the point where you can criticise the way they're doing it because you knew better. Oh no, she's done that one. Oh, that's going to go horrible.
I can appreciate somebody doing something without wanting to learn it myself, and I do think for me it's sort of a bandwidth thing. I just haven't got the time or the inclination, and the time that I do have, the pockets of time that I do have to do my own thing, I want to read.
I relish my downtime.
Yes, I relish reading or watching trash reality TV because I enjoy doing that. And I'm not saying that's a useful or educational experience, but it's something that I enjoy doing that doesn't require me to engage my brain. And I think all my brain power is taken up by various bits of work and YouTube and editing and all of that.
And do you feel any guilt for not improving your mind?
Absolutely none whatsoever. I can genuinely say I have no guilt whatsoever, but I don't have very much guilt about anything anymore.
But then I don't experience boredom. People say, we're going back to what you said.
Yeah.
People say only boring people get bored, don't they? And I don't know how true that is, but I'm not bored because I am relishing my downtime.
As a lady who follows us both, who I won't say your name in case you don't want me to say your name, because you're quite often in the comments, and she has some health issues and spends a lot of time by herself and unable to get out or get up very much, I think. And she often says in comments how rich she feels her life is because there is so much to do in terms of watching YouTube and things on television and educational stuff that she learns from TV, and she loves to read and listen to it. I don't think she can read physically, but she listens to audiobooks, and she said she will never get bored because there is so much out there. I think that's a great attitude to have, isn't it? Yes, okay. Caroline, it is.
Yes, I said yeah. I said yeah. I did. You heard me. I said
she wasn't listening.
I said yeah, and then I went to read a comment from a viewer. Okay, so the problem with reading the replies on my phone, which is the only way I have to, is I can only see the first half of the usernames, and clicking on it doesn't seem to open it anymore. Oh, there we go. Got something to say now, which is Anne Easterway. It does open it a bit more.
Anne Easterway.
Yeah. So she has said, just by living each day, we are learning new things, and I love that, which is kind of something I said about doing. Experiencing new things, listening to others' points of views, and seeing better ways of doing things can help us live life easier. However, the self-improvement thing has been overdone. The constant messaging that we need to improve is telling us that we are not good enough. The biggest lessons that I have learned is to be true to myself and that I am enough now, whether others think that or not. Yes, boredom is very underrated, especially for introverts like me. Many do not understand how I crave alone time. That ties in so well to what we say. Thank you, Anne.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great comment. Thank you, Anne.
Do you consider yourself to be an introvert or an extrovert?
I think I'm a weird mixture of the two.
Same.
Because I can be... Yeah, I would say we both are like that because I need time by myself. I very much enjoy time by myself, even away from Ashley. I don't consider time with Ashley to be time by myself. I like being by myself. I'm fond of my own company.
Yes.
And I feel like I need that to reset myself to be in the world of people again. But also I can be the life and soul. I can be quite loud and vocal and chat to people easily. So yeah, I would say I'm a weird mix of both.
Yeah, I think so. I think people would probably say I was an extrovert because they see the public face of the extrovertism. Is that a word? Extrovert. Not sure whether that's a word.
Extroversion?
Extrovertism.
I don't know. We could
Because
learn what
they
that word
see
should
the
be.
extrovert side of me.
Yes.
And they assume that that's the whole you. I think this is one of the things with YouTube as well, that people think that the person they see on the screen is the whole you. And if you suggest it's not, people are often upset by that because they think that you're
not being
pretending
real.
to be something you're not. But there are many facets to a person's character, and the facet that is able to sit in front of the camera and chat away and be quite extrovert then needs some downtime to recharge.
Yes.
I could spend a week, I think, on a cruise on my own quite happily. And I don't think a true extrovert could do that.
No.
So I think that's where you come in with a mix of the two. I have another comment from David's Angel who says, I think every day is a school day. We learn new things daily. I turned 60 on Thursday, and in my brain I'm still about 35. I think I'm about 12 in mine half the time. My body may disagree, but I feel I still have a need to learn new skills and keep my brain active. I use YouTube videos a lot to help me. Watching the different ways people do things also helps to learn the things you need to know. Some people go into great detail, which can be confusing, but basic videos get you started. Now, I would assume, having read the name David's Angel, I assumed perhaps it was a man speaking, but David's Angel could be a person whose dad was called Angel, or David, or whatever. I'm not sure. But I think where I'm going with that comment is that what I was about to say was, it sounds quite a masculine comment, doesn't it? I want to learn new skills. I want to keep my brain active. I'm learning how to do things. That reminds me of perhaps maybe a retired gentleman. And I may be completely wrong. You may be a person of another gender. But you know, when you were talking about dads retiring and going into the shed and learning carpentry and things like that, that's the kind of thing that reminds me of. That I'll watch a YouTube video and I'll learn how to do dovetail joints or something.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
I could probably do a dovetail joint. I've watched enough YouTube videos. I watch people restoring furniture. I'm never going to restore any furniture.
The repair shop.
Watch it for hours. No, I don't like the repair shop. My mum watches that. But on YouTube, I watch...
But I don't like the repair shop. My mum watches that. Does that mean you don't like it because your mum watches it?
No, I don't like it because my mum has made me watch it with her.
Oh, okay.
I find it too forced. I find it too false.
Yes.
And I find it too slushy. They've all got a sob story about why they want their thing repaired. Nobody ever turns up and goes, well, I just quite like it and I'd like it to be better, please. There's always it was my father's and he took it through 17 world wars with him, and he had it in his breast pocket when he was shot, and it saved his life, and so please could you just restuff my teddy bear and make it the right shape again. It's always stuff like that, and I'm like, it's too false, it's too staged.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I digress.
Where did you get that from?
Julie Pearson says, I think being over 50 is great to still be learning new things. I don't watch TV or watch the news, only read bits. I love reading. You can learn a lot through books. Absolutely, Julia.
Yes.
Yeah. Huge amount. Like, I could tell you huge amounts of stuff about the 17th century and the clothes they wore and stuff like that, and the attitudes they had, and a lot of that is purely through reading.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that my vocabulary is... without wanting to blow my own trumpet too much, I would say I've got quite a good vocabulary, and I'm sure that is from reading.
Yes. Summer is on Thursday. We've probably missed it. Says, I learn online. YouTube is full of information and I am an expert and an addict.
Yeah, YouTube. I've said this in a video recently, that you can find a tutorial to do almost anything on the internet, can't you?
All sorts of things.
Whether you want to learn calligraphy, figure out how to fix your broken washing machine, or how to program your microwave.
Taxidermy. Anything.
Taxidermy?
But any bizarre thing. I don't want to do taxidermy, but if I wanted to, I bet you I could find a YouTube video that would show me how to.
Here's a question. If you were going to do taxidermy, what animal would you taxiderm?
What am I going to do with it when I've finished it? Have I got to keep it in my home?
No, you haven't got to
because
keep it.
I've seen some really startling examples where people have stuffed a fox or whatever, and it looks like the most terrifying thing you've ever seen. If I can find a screenshot, I'll put it on for you, because I've seen some stuff like that. Like, if one of my dogs died, I don't think I'd like to stuff them and keep them.
Oh,
I think,
no,
yeah,
that
people
would be
do.
weird.
People do have their pets stuffed and keep them.
That's fair enough if you want to, but it wouldn't be for me.
I think if you were going to have a bash at taxidermy, it would be fun to do something huge, wouldn't it?
I'm thinking a kangaroo.
Well, I was thinking a cart horse or something like that, you know? It'd be a really big project.
I'd like to do a kangaroo.
And I guess the smaller it is, the more fiddly and difficult.
Yeah, like if you did a hummingbird, that would be dull, wouldn't it? And
Bumblebee.
Fiddly. Really
I
fiddly.
challenge you to stuff a bumblebee.
I don't think you can. Have you ever seen a taxidermy bumblebee? Now, I'm going for kangaroo. It hasn't got too many really small bits. It's got some big expanses, hasn't it? I reckon it would be quite easy.
You're going to have to find a dead one first, because you can't kill a kangaroo. They're really, really tough.
But I didn't say you had to go and find it. I just said, what would you choose? Yeah. I just said, what animal would you choose? I wasn't suggesting you went and found one.
I think if I was told...
Alligator.
Yeah, who wants to recipe
first
one of those?
First Florida.
First get
to
your
the
alligator. It's one of those terrible recipes. First take your alligator.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'd start with something huge, and I think my reasoning being that there's less fiddly bits.
Yeah.
Cart horse should be easy, shouldn't it? Stuff 4 legs.
Yeah.
Stuff the neck, make sure it's not floppy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The head's nice and big, isn't it? The
Yeah.
ears maybe a bit fiddly, the nostrils, but
Yeah,
you
I'm
know,
sure there are no
other than
taxidermists
that,
in the comments going, "Oh no, it's harder than you think." Just me,
if there is, I'll
Bedford.
eat my hat.
Just me, Bedford says, if you want to learn something that you will enjoy and be happy about it, then go for it. If you just want to be satisfied with what you already know, then do that. I don't see the need to keep learning other than what I might randomly pick up in the normal course of my day, week, month, or life. My life has been hard, and so I feel I deserve to just enjoy what I have left, however that may be.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Don't feel guilted into learning if you don't want to, by all
No,
means.
that's not the point, is it? It's saying, do you want to continue? No, nobody's saying that it should be mandatory.
Claire Cadman says, I'm 55 and just sold my house. I don't have another one to go to. I'm going on an adventure trip to Scotland, going to relocate there with my son. We have until the 1st of October before he starts his PhD to find something. I'm hoping to do lots of courses and learn different things, plus meet lots of new people. I can't wait. Everyone either envies me or thinks I'm crazy. Life's too short and not easy, so don't settle for less and grab every opportunity.
I read that one yesterday when I was looking at the comments, and I have more questions. Therefore, I need to have a conversation with
Claire, can we do a Q&A with you?
Yeah. What made you choose Scotland?
If he's doing his PhD, perhaps he's got to do it there.
Well, possibly, yes.
Maybe it's not her choice. Maybe it's his circumstances that have.
Yes, that's true. So you've got to go somewhere quite specific then.
Perhaps he's going to do a PhD in golf courses because that's where they have lots of them. I'm sure he's not doing that. I don't know what else they have in Scotland. Can you specialise in haggis?
But I think that's quite an exciting thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very brave as well. Brave to sell your house and go, let's see what happens next. Very brave.
Yeah.
But I mean, depending on where Claire has
You've
sold
got someone
her house,
to go with though,
Yes.
as well. I think upping and doing that by yourself would be quite hard. I think having someone to go with makes it a lot easier. It's always like, well, it's your son, isn't it?
I think
So
financial security is a huge thing as well. If you have sold a house down south and you know that the money you have therefore...
She might live in Newcastle.
But you know what I mean? What I'm saying is, if you've sold a house down south and you know that the money you've realised from that sale is going to be able to buy you what you want and probably leave you, you know, with enough to not have to panic for a while, then you could go into that adventure feeling quite confident.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, money's definitely a factor, isn't it?
Financial security is going to make a huge difference.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. If you didn't know where your next month's rent was coming from, it would be a different kettle of fish, wouldn't it? But you do see quite a lot of people going off. I see quite a lot. I follow some van life channels on YouTube, and people, you know, our sort of age and a bit older, selling up everything and getting in a camper van and going off and doing the van life thing. I think it's a great adventure. But as you say, I don't think it would be that much of a great adventure if you didn't have some level of financial security.
Yeah. Yes. There's the difference, isn't there, between knowing that you're doing it through choice. You know, it's quite nice living in your car if you're doing it through choice. Not nice living in your car if you haven't got any other option.
You ever come across that girl Rosa? I think she's Canadian.
I think I have seen her.
Lives in her car in America.
I think I have seen her. The name sounds familiar.
Yeah. Fascinating life. Wouldn't be for me, but
parks up in near a gas station because it's light and there'll be a toilet and stuff like that, and she's got some security, and then blocks out all her windows and goes to sleep for the night. It wouldn't be for me. Beverly Taylor says, whilst working as a nurse and raising a family, I constantly felt like I had to prove my worth, probably due to childhood issues, and so I was constantly studying one course after another, but I never felt satisfied that I knew enough about anything. Since retiring due to ill health, I no longer study, but I do read a lot purely for pleasure. No pressure to prove myself to anyone these days, so maybe I did learn something after all. However, I would love to learn to speak Italian just for the fun of it. Sending love. There you go. See, some people want to learn a language just because they want to. And I get that. I get that some people do. But I think this is one of the reasons I was a trouble at school. One of the reasons I was a problem at school was because I didn't want to learn anything that I didn't see the use of.
Yeah.
I was quite happy to learn to cook. I was quite happy to learn maths and English. I was quite happy to learn history because I was interested in it, even though I didn't see a use for it. I did not see the point of learning geography. I could not, and I regret that now, because now I don't know where anywhere is. But I literally sat in geography lessons thinking, I'm never going to go to France, I don't need to know where it is. The side result of that is that I only recently discovered that France isn't where I thought it was.
What?
No, let me qualify that by saying I knew that France was just across the channel, but it isn't. It is across the channel, but it's under us. It's not across from us. In my mind, it was us, France, and it's not. It's us, France. They're down. They're not across. In my head, they've always been across. They're not where I thought they were.
Really? Mm-hmm. That's startling.
And Spain's even further down than I thought it was. In my head, it really, really stupid, and I know, and I'm not proud to say it, but in my head it went us, France, Spain next door to France. Where did I think they were getting a coastline from?
Also, where did you think they were getting considerably better weather than us if we're all on the same level?
I spent all the years they tried to teach me geography thinking I don't need to know this and not listening. I have regrets. I have regrets. But that is something that's gone with me through life. If I don't need to know it, I won't bother learning it.
Probably hasn't enriched your life knowing that France is below us rather than
No, it's just made me realise I've been stupid for years. UFO S4, I think this says. I'm 71, retired 5 years, and love to learn. But I don't love pressure from others suggesting what I should be doing. I've learned finally at this old age that I don't care what you think of me. Yeah. I went to a few meetups, an organisation that has events where you meet new people and see the area. And I realised I was only going because my friends and family living far away would think it's a good thing to do. I hated it. It was like being around co-workers that you never clicked with and never want to know.
I love that.
Now I'm taking various art courses online and life is bliss. The courses are not graded. They don't see my work and I am progressing in my art like I never expected. Life is grand. YouTube is also a source of happiness, especially those British ladies who make me laugh and think. Thanks, Carla and Caroline. I love that. I went to these meetups and I went, I don't like these people. Why am I here? That's it. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Because you think I should meet people and then you go and meet people and realise you don't like people. Yeah.
I suppose if you are an introvert and you're happy with your own company, I know that when I've spent too much time by myself, and I don't know if you get this as well, I don't suppose you do because you live in a busy house with people there constantly, so it's slightly different, isn't it? But since Will moved out, I obviously spend all my time at home working. You know, I don't go out to work type of thing, so I'm by myself all day. And then Ashley's in the evening. But if I've spent a lot of time in the house, which is very easy to do, or if I've had a particularly busy week and I've not been out and not actually seen people and socialised in some way, I get the need to go out and be with people and just socialise or chat to someone different.
There comes a point where you think I've had enough of me now.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So I think I'd probably quite enjoy the meetup groups as long as I didn't have to go to any that I didn't want to go to.
So that's where I think I'd enjoy a week alone on a cruise. I don't think I'd enjoy a fortnight alone on a cruise.
No, exactly.
About a week of me
I
is
reckon
enough.
I could do. Also, when you say alone on a cruise, you're just not, are you?
You're not alone on it. You're never alone on a cruise, are you? Until you lock the cabin door, and even then you can hear people walking past outside.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it's quite a social environment to be alone, and it would be quite an easy alone to be, I think.
S&J8604 says, I find I'm always learning something new. If I hear or read something I don't understand or have never heard before, or a question pops into my mind, I go and look it up. At me. Last week I randomly wondered, do canals flood? And I know the answer to that now. And that's me. That is me.
Do you
I
need
want
to know that?
Well, I will probably need to go and Google that now.
If it rains a
now
lot,
that it's
they're
been
going
raised,
to, aren't they?
I don't know, because they have locks and things, don't they? So
there's more questions than answers in there.
Lock gates have bits that pass through. I'm going to go and find out where the canals flood. You talk to the nice people.
What would you like me to talk to them about?
About where the canals flood.
Did you finish the comment?
Yes, I did. Right. Yes, canals can flood, although less likely than natural waterways due to management and maintenance. Heavy rainfall or extreme weather events can cause water levels to rise. And if the canal is not properly maintained, it can flood. This is more likely to happen if the canal's walls have been breached, broken or damaged. There we go. Only very extreme events. There we go. I didn't know that, and that's exactly the kind of thing though. That exactly sums it up. That I go, I want to know so and so, and I look it up. We did it earlier on about something. I can't remember what we went to look up earlier on, but so I'll go and find out. Yeah. One Jackie Worse, short for Worcester. One Jackie Wuss, I guess. But
yes.
I'm 58 and retired. I love doing free online short courses via FutureLearn and others. Short enough to keep me interested and I don't do the homework, lol. They keep my brain working and it gives me random knowledge to chat about with my family and friends. I have done courses on history, crime, climate change, geography, ecology, etc.
Now, I have to say, I read that comment when I was looking at them last night and I went and looked up FutureLearn and it looked terrifyingly academic to me.
You have to be clever.
I had to close it down quickly. It looked all a bit clever for me, but Yeah, I'd quite like the idea of a short course. You see, I have a short attention span. I don't get bored quite easily. So,
Do you?
yeah,
You
so
bored of me yet?
fairly.
Thanks.
Yeah, we've been here for several hours now.
Linda's2485 says, I'm learning Spanish just for me.
Nice.
Margaret,
Buenos dias.
yeah, buenos dias. Margaret Young says, of course we are meant to continue learning. The difference is that we now get to choose the subject. That's
a valid point,
yeah, it's a very
yes.
good point. Rebecca says, I'm under 50 and try to learn by listening to things, whether on TV, reading online articles, YouTube videos, listening to others, etc. It can be hard at times, but it's important to understand why something has happened. Knowledge is power, and you never know when it is needed. I think it's a very strong point for things like current events. It's very easy to bury your head in the sand and go, I don't want to know. The world is a mess. Everything's awful. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
But I think it is important to try and stay abreast of the current events up to a certain point.
Yes, I don't disagree.
Yeah, it's
I think the
important to know what's going
24-hour
on.
rolling news is pointless because it's almost all opinion rather than fact.
Yeah.
But yes, the actual events, I scroll onto a news app a couple of times a day, literally for a minute to read the headlines.
Yeah.
And that's enough, I think.
Yeah. Heather the Treasure Pirate. Keeping learning new stuff is essential to me. I need the challenge and can't stand feeling bored. It doesn't suit everyone for sure. I do think we need to be exercising the mind to keep it flexible, etc. Just like the body, but no one should be pressured into it. I joined a samba band at 60 and 2 years later I'm loving it. It's a lot harder than it looks. I bet it is. I love Heather. Heather is one of the wisest and most calming people I have ever spent time with in my life. She's
very calm, isn't she? Yeah.
The waves of just calming relaxation that come off Heather are, I don't know, I can't describe it. It envelops you and you go, I'm all right now. You know, she's fantastic.
I can't imagine Heather ever raising her voice.
No,
I really can't.
No, she's honestly, if you get the chance to spend time with Heather the Treasure Pirate, and I can't imagine that anyone particularly would, but do it because she's lovely.
Does she still make YouTube videos?
Yeah, occasionally, yeah. Geordie B says, I enjoyed the last talk about we did. It gave me a lot of insight to hear similar things we've all done. It makes the world seem a lot less lonely when you can relate to people through shared experiences, even the bad ones. Keep up the great work, Caroline and Carla. P.S. Love your videos, Carla. Your banter and some of the things you say do crack me up. I aim to please. I often miss, but I do aim.
You can please some of the people.
I find that I can't please most of the people any of the time, and that's just how it has to be. Heidi Douglas says, I love to learn. I'm 64 and I've just learned a third language. I struggle with one language. As South Africans, we all speak at least 2 languages, and I have loved learning to speak German. I am also always doing courses as I'm a real estate agent and I have to keep up with new laws and technology. It keeps me sharp. I have to say, since I started my new job, which I cannot disclose in very secretive manner, I've had to learn a lot of stuff that I didn't need to know before, and I have realised how rusty my brain has been at learning. I have to repeat things over and over again before they sink in now. And I find that my brain drifts a lot when I am watching online courses and stuff. I find that this is a 20-minute course and I remember the first 5 minutes, so I better rewind and go again.
I think that is to do with phone use.
Yes.
I think I find myself, when I'm reading, if my phone is next to me, I will put down my book and pick up my phone for no reason
and
at
then
all.
you go, what
no
am I
reason
doing? I
at
was
all.
reading. Yeah.
And I don't have the attention span
Yeah.
with the book that I used to have.
Yeah.
I very often read and put my phone in a different room now.
I think I've conditioned
Stop me
my
doing
brain
that.
to only deal with short form content.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why I try not to do too... hello?
Please don't reverse into us. All that seagull.
The standard of driving in Burnham-on-Sea is terrifying.
We have seen some entertaining parking today.
and some quite entertaining unparking as well.
One last comment from Nancy Woods. She says, what are we learning about? Life lessons, new skills, current events, recent scientific... Ran out of breath. Recent scientific discoveries? The answer is absolutely. Just don't test me on any of it, because dredging up anything out of the soup of molasses menopause has turned my brain into is challenging.
Oh, I'm with you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Menopause, that was Nancy.
sorry.
Menopause has hit me like a sock full of sand between the eyes when it comes to brain capacity.
Yes, yeah, for sure. And I didn't notice it at first. It took me till a couple of years after menopause. And then I went, oh,
yeah,
here we are then.
I cannot retain anything for very long without, like I said, without repeating it over and over again. I can't get to the end of a sentence. I drive Anthony mad. I drive him mad because I can't get to the end of a sentence, and I have to stop and I have to go back and reformulate my thoughts. And because he is one of life's natural impatient people, he doesn't want to wait while I do that. So then he tries to finish my sentence, and because he's tried to finish my sentence, I've forgotten what my sentence was going to be, and all I can say to him is, no, that's not it. And he's like, well, what is it then? I'm like, well, if you stop talking, I'll try and get it. And yeah, and then I'm frustrated. And
I find myself, I'll be telling Carla a story, and so there'll be a small interruption. For example, somebody bought our lunch.
Yeah.
I was in the middle of telling a story. Someone bought our lunch, said thank you very much. And I went back and I said, I can't remember what I was telling you about.
And if
now.
she's lucky, I can.
Yeah.
But if she's not, I'm like, usually I've got a couple of key notes that I can go, oh, so we were talking about so-and-so and so-and-so, and that triggers it back on.
But yeah, losing my train of thought, terrible. That's since menopause.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Also, my train of thought darts around all over the place. My train of thought used to go chugga, 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 chugga. Now it goes blah, 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 blah.
That's phones.
And I will say something, and Natalie will go, where has that randomly come from? And I can retrace my train of thought and take it back to here's what I started thinking about and here's where I've ended up. And it's the most convoluted, bizarre, random scramble of a journey. Yeah. This has been fun. I hope. Well, it's been fun for me.
I've enjoyed it.
I hope you've enjoyed it. Yeah. And it's unusual for us to do this in the car.
It has, yes. Bit odd.
It's quite nice, I think, because when you're talking online, you talk over each other a bit more because you don't realise the other person started speaking.
Yes.
When you're in person, you can sort of pick up a bit quicker that they're about to say. Yeah.
Yes, it was good. Right. I'm going to try and learn the way home from Burnham now.
If you have any ideas for future Let's Talk Abouts, do drop them into the comments of this video because we're always open for new Let's Talk About ideas. And thank you very much for joining us for this one. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you to everyone who contributed. If I didn't read your message out, I certainly wasn't deliberate because I thought
we managed to do all of them.
I thought I'd covered all of them.
We were trying to do them all this time. So.
And we're always grateful for your input. It helps the conversation flow. Otherwise, it would be me and her going, well,
yes.
Don't know what I think. Do you know what you think?
It's always good to get other people's points of views, isn't it? That's what it's all about. That's what Let's Chat's all about.
Absolutely.
Right.
See you soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye for now.